Kia ora team. Today we're going to look at Google Classroom, and I'm going to start off with tip number 1 of 5 ways to use Google Classroom to increase student engagement and self-responsibility. And tip number 1 is how to set assignments to include the learning activities, the resources and the assessments. One of the big advantages of Google Classroom is how easy it is to set up and how quickly we can get things done. But a lot of the haters of Google Classroom will tell you that it's not a traditional LMS, because it doesn't allow for a decent timeline and structure, and that it's just simply a chronological flow of posts and announcements and things that doesn't provide any oversight or visibility to the course. Well, I say that we can get around that by some really clever folder structure and file management, and also how we put an assignment together in Google Classroom. So the key aspect here is that Google Classroom works well once you have good file management in Google Drive. So having entire folders set out in your courses with all the different topics or projects inside those folders, making sure that they're labeled correctly and easy to find, and inside folders such as learning activities, that there's a chronological or some kind of numerical order to things so that students know exactly where they're going and where they move to next. So I'm going to show you now how we can post one of these assignments. And so we're going to create an assignment, and I'm going to call it 27703, which is the sound assessment in level 2 CIT, Creative Industries Technology. And the first thing we're going to do is we want to post the link to the learning activities. I want students to be able to log in and click in and self-manage. I want them to be able to navigate their way through the learning activities without having to necessarily navigate through tons of different announcements or assignments. So everything's in the one place. So I'm going to head into my Drive management, I'm going to head into my sound topic, and I'm going to get the link for my learning activities. And so anyone at Green Bay High School has the link to view this folder. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to add those learning activities as a link, and that's the first thing that students will click into in this assignment. Then I'm going to add another link. We've got some extra resources that they might need, so that could be additional clips and things like that. So we're going to copy that. We're going to add that link in. And I'm also going to add in for the sound standard, there's a whole bunch of audio tracks that they'll need to complete their audio editing. So I'm going to paste that in too. Now the key aspect here is we still want to have that great assignment flow where we are able to create a template from our sound assessment. We want students to have it individually named, and so that we eventually own that document as well. So I can simply go into Google Drive, and as you can see, I've found the sound assessment, and I'm going to make that sound assessment, make a copy for each student. I'll obviously pick a due date and time, so I'm going to make it due after next Thursday's professional learning day, the teacher only day. I'm going to make it 11:59 PM, and I'm going to hit assign. Once we've assigned this, as you can see, the labels show up from my folders. It will be really clear and obvious to students that they can click in and go straight to the learning activities. They're ordered numerically so that they can work progressively through them. They've got extra resources, access to the other materials such as the music tracks that we'll be working to, and then eventually when they progress far enough, they'll sit the assessment. Each student gets a copy of this so that the original template of my internal resource isn't touched and isn't shared with the students. So that's how we set up an entire topic of work inside one assignment in Google Classroom. I think you'll agree that this simplifies the workflow. Students will have more independence, they should be more engaged because they'll see the pathway through to the finished product or the end result. Thanks for watching. Enjoy using Google Classroom.